We're on the start now on the Fawley Challenge Cup. This is junior men quads. You get some great racing in these junior men's and women's quads events. And going to see two sides of the draw this afternoon. So what do we got? It's St Andrew Boat Club on the left and Windsor Boys School A crew on the right. Off to a great clean start, as you'd expect. Windsor Boys A crew here, and later this afternoon we'll see their B crew on the other side of the draw. They're hoping for a Windsor Boys versus Windsor Boys final here. Fantastic scullers from that programme over many years here at Henley. I think all of the 4 competitors in the Windsor Boys School quads won medals at the National School Regatta recently. So A and B, they may be, but they're quality scullers, each of them. And they've got an early edge on St Andrew on the far station, with the saltaire on the blades of the St Andrew crew, just taking a look over their shoulders to see whether they're still in touch with Windsor Boys School. Yeah,
that's St Andrew's crew priding themselves as being Scottish national champions. Experienced crew as well. You know, they rode the Fawley together last year, but they've been doing a lot more sweep rowing than sculling this year, and that I think is just starting to tell a little bit here in the early part of this race. Windsor Boys School looking extremely well drilled, very punchy in their style. Having said that, St Andrews, they're working hard. You can see it, especially at the end of the stroke, the last bit of the stroke before they take their oars out. Really aggressive and then quick back to take the next one.
Yeah, good spot there, Zoe. I think you're right. That St Andrew Boat Club crew there with Freddie Foxwell sitting in the bow seat just takes a look across to check where the Windsor Boys School are. In front of him, it's Hector Patton. Then at 3, Benjamin Nussey, and at stroke, Alexander Patton. We've seen quite a lot of siblings in lots of these smaller boats here, and that can help the pattern, if I may say so, of the stroke. But right now, St Andrew Boat Club, well, early in the race, they're starting to lose connection with Windsor Boys in front of them.
Yeah, St Andrew have had 2 really close races to get here to semi-finals day. Their coaching team, led by Tom Duke, really proud of these guys, particularly the fact that they are the last Scottish crew left in the Henley Royal Regatta this year. So I think they are going to have some serious support as they come down the course. I don't know if it's just the angle, but it looks like they might have just pushed themselves back a little bit onto Windsor Boys there.
It's possible, isn't it? They have come as a quad before. This is their second time competing here in exactly the same crew. They got to the second round of the same event last year. Just a little bit of steering, and it's quite difficult with the wind in the middle of the course. This section, you can see the flags looking like they've dropped a little bit. It's quite swirly, and we've seen quite a few crews having trouble here. But this, as you said, the Scottish champions in at least 2 different boat classes. They've rowed together not so much in the quad this year. They've mainly been focusing on sweep oar rowing. That's 1 oar each. So they jumped back into a crew that they enjoyed last year to come back to enjoy Henley Regatta this year.
Yeah, I think they're an impressive crew, but at the moment it is that crew from Windsor Boys School. You can see just the flash, particularly of the yellow on their blades, really sharp, really well in time as they come out to put their blades in the water at the catch of the stroke. And like you said, Matt, this has been not only an impressive crew, but an impressive squad. We'll be seeing their B crew in a few races' time, and there's a good chance that it could be Windsor in the final tomorrow.
Well, they're hoping for Henley Royal Regatta, a Windsor versus Windsor match, and at the moment it looks like it's going their way to get here. The Windsor Boys School A crew beat Sir William Borlase on Thursday and Kingston Rowing Club on Friday. And, well, the St Andrew Boat Club, no slouches themselves, as we say. They beat Hinksey Sculling Club and then Hereford Cathedral School yesterday. So both crews have had some good battles to get here to the final. But let's just look at the moment at this Windsor Boys School A crew and see why they are such a good programme. Look at that. Synchronised, powerful and strong into this headwind.
Yeah, I think what I always look for in a really good quality crew, whatever the boat type, is if you look from their sort of middle up, you look at their shoulders, their faces, their arms, it should look quite relaxed. But if you look from the middle down, you're looking at their legs, at their glutes. Those bits are working really, really hard. And that's what you can see here. You can see 4 pairs of legs really pressing down together. But actually, if you look at their shoulders, okay, they're getting a bit tired as they come down the course, but relatively relaxed and loose there in comparison.
Now, it's a really good insight, isn't it? I think lots of crews are told to sort of leave the work out of the shoulders. If you're watching this and you're somebody who's a rower and wanting to improve your rowing, you could do worse than watch these scullers here. Keeping the work out of the shoulders, keeping the work below the armpit in the legs, so the lats and the arms are really nice and loose and fluid. And then you've got the engine, which is really the lower back and the legs that connect and push the boat past the water. So St Andrew Boat Club, they've got their work cut out as they face Windsor Boys School. We've got Alexander Patton sitting in the stroke seat, behind him Benjamin Nussey, and then Hector Patton at 2 and Freddie Foxwell at bow.
I guess the interesting question is, how much of these Windsor Boys School, are they hoping to meet their B crew in the final? Sometimes it's a bit of a difficult situation racing your own squad, and I think that's the thing about this squad is it's not been a clear A and B crew all year. I think they've swapped in and out of boats.
Yeah,
they've rowed together. You know, they had this clean sweep of the National Schools Championship sculling event. The whole squad's impressive.
Absolutely, and I mean, I think talking to some of the Windsor Boys alumni on the banks this morning, they are really excited for the prospect of a Windsor versus Windsor final. That programme, it will be like the icing of the cake on the cake of a programme that's built over many years down there at Windsor Boys School to produce such incredible Henley winning records and incredible athletes. We should pick out in particular here, I guess, Marcus Shute sitting at 3, who's been so successful, but the rest of the crew are successful around them as well. As I said, at national schools, they were winning in every boat class.
Yeah, really, really unbelievably good performance there at national schools to just show the depth of the squad. And a lovely shot here again. You can see those legs moving down together, and you'll notice that quite a lot of crews have a stripe down the side of their racing all-in-ones, and that was traditionally, my understanding, was so that coaches could actually see their body movements and their leg movements better to help with the coaching, but it's something that's persisted.
Yeah, in the days when I was rowing and video was more expensive to do and you had to have a dedicated camera, if you had a video session, you'd always reach for the tracksuit bottoms that didn't have any stripes on the side, so you couldn't have your timing shown up. But it's lovely here. You're absolutely right to pick up. Look at that detail on the side. You can see how the hips and the backs kind of compress and then open up together like one, like a machine. Just a glance over his shoulder there from Jakob Joris at bow there, checking the steering as they row through the final stages of the race, passing the progress boards, only 4 or 5 strokes less. Well, they've booked their spot on Saturday, Windsor Boys A, and in a few races' time, we'll have the chance to see whether Windsor Boys B can do the same thing. Crowd applauding some great sculling from these two crews. And 4 Scottish champion athletes about to cross the line as well. So that is St Andrew Boat Club beaten squarely by the Windsor Boys School A crew, who, in the spirit of our sport, salute their opponents and move on. Their thoughts turn to Sunday and finals.